that has come to me. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Running fast to the end of my life, Jesus saved me now. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Running fast for the edge of my life, Jesus saved me now. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Running fast for the edge of my life, Jesus saved me now. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Happiness comes so seldom, that has come to me. Running fast for the edge of my life, Jesus saved me now. It is here in the Father's kingdom. It was there for me. You took me, and you washed away my sins. You washed away my sins.
You ready? You're listening to the Real Pineapple Podcast Network. Good morning, ladies, gentlemen, theys, and gays. This is the Real Pineapple. This is your very, very groggy host, Hunter here. I'm tired, man. I don't know why I'm so tired. It's the weather. That's what it is. We're supposed to be getting snow here in a bit, but happy Saturday, y'all. I hope you're safe. I hope you're well. I have never meant that more in the times we're in. By the way, Donald Trump, you're a monster. That's gonna be my one Trump mention, I promise. Well, actually, I just thought about it might be.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. But this is your humble host, Hunter here, and I'm joined by husband, father, movie critic, generous lover, ? Bradley. Bradley, how are you, sir?
Good, thank you. Yeah.
I always like to mix up the intros when I have you on. It's like, you know what I realize it's like? It's like when John Mulaney would write jokes for
Good. It's all good. We're still a country, sovereign nation.
Nice. Yeah, that's
good. It's good to be, right?
Yeah, we'll see how that ages by like June. But yeah, y'all. So real quick before we get into it here, so I'm stoked. Yes, Ebony and Ivory, as Josh is calling us on the afternoon tune. So yeah, y'all. So let me just get this out of the way. I feel like we have this conversation every year, and with me being unemployed, I won't soon be. I'm putting that shit in the universe. But I was unemployed for all of last year. I got laid off last December. I've been putting in an ungodly amount of job apps, and it's been rough, y'all. Like I won't lie. Like my mental health is not great. It's been really shitty, but the same thing that helped get me through lockdown is the same thing that's been helping me get through this really rough period in my life, and that is as much shit as I give them, and as much as I am gonna probably scale back a little bit. Going on the afternoon tune has been an absolute joy. I love Josh. I even love Dusk. You asshole. But and of course Nick, the homie. Going on the afternoon tune has been an absolute joy, and it's been really great going on there and talking to different people and interacting with the chats and all that. And then the Hall of Awesome chat that I run, that Bradley's a part of. If I didn't have the guest spots that I've been on, if I didn't have the chat, I don't know what I would do. And having my amazing partner Alea and my two awesome cats and my other friend, like I wouldn't have gotten through this last year without y'all. So to all of you from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Thank you for making my mental health as good as it possibly could be given the circumstances. Shout out to my friends Zach and Tim as well, Colin, Scott, like too many people to name, Lizzie. But to all of you, thank you from the bottom of my heart. All right, now back to podcast persona. So 2024 had some bullshit. Oh my God, there was some terrible films in 2024, and we talked about it on our dishonorable mentions a couple days ago, which you can check out on YouTube. I will be uploading the audio here on Monday. But yeah, there was some absolute bullshit. But in order to celebrate the best of 2024, before you get to heaven, you have to go through hell. So we are. Oh my gosh. Afternoon Tune says, you guys prove that MLK Jr. just didn't have a dream. Thank you. So yeah, we have to talk about our worst stuff. So I don't know about you, but I've been doing a worst of, I think since 2016, I think is when we officially did our first worst of. It might have been 2015. I know the first year we didn't do it, but we've basically been doing a worst of, back when Scott and Colin were on the podcast, we were doing it. But ever since I've been going solo with the pod for like the last 4 or 5 years, like I've still been doing it. So like it's been a tradition for a hot minute. Do you do an actual worst of on your Letterboxd, or do you just like log?
No, just whatever's at the bottom, I guess.
Fair enough. Like, and
generally, I don't seek out what could be considered a bad movie. They're the lowest rated are when my kids are like, hey, can we watch a Transformers movie? I like Transformers. I mean, that hasn't happened since, what was the last really bad one? Mark Wahlberg and I think a night version.
Yeah, Transformers The Last Night. That's the one.
Was that the last one? Yeah.
That's the one.
It's been a minute since I've been like, in my head, I've been like, oh, this is going to be bad. You know,
Oh, I envy you for that because because that is one thing about doing the worst of is like, I see other critics lists and I'm just always shaking my head like you're lucky. Like Madam Web is your worst of, like, oh my god, you're so fucking lucky because I seek out
Mhm.
the crappiest of the crap. Like I put as much work into my best of as I do my worst of as I do my best of. Like, because if you're gonna talk about the worst films, you need to talk about the worst films.
Right, like the actual worst films.
Yeah. Now, with that said, a bit of a qualifier. Given recent events, I could not bring myself to watch Reagan. I kept looking at it on my on my Prime Video, and I was just like, $6. No, I'm gonna be pissed off. No. I could get a joint for $6. I'm just like, like, and that would make me happy. It's like, no. So I'll probably watch Reagan at some point when it hits streaming, and I'll update my letterbox because I'm sure it'll make my list when I do watch it. But I couldn't bring myself to do it. So with that said, just a quick reminder of a few films that were on dishonorable mentions in case you missed it. Not going to spend a lot of time, just going to go through them real quick. Wolves, George Clooney, Brad Pitt, not Amazon, Apple TV movie, fucking garbage. Do not watch it. I feel like Brad Pitt is just coasting at this point, and not just at being a spouse, zing, but I just like, dude, read scripts, man. God damn, man. Like in Clooney, the Cloonster. I love Clooney, but I don't know what Clooney's doing anymore in terms of picking roles. The Union we talked about, Mark Wahlberg. Oh, by the way, Flight Risk is getting dragged, rightfully so. By the way, that new Mark Wahlberg movie, which I'm assuming, like I said, I'm assuming it's Patriots Day, but on an airplane. Like, if I had been on the plane, I could have stopped 9/11. Like, I'm assuming that's what the movie.
It's wild he said that out loud is the thing.
Yeah,
And
like people forget he said that.
Did he apologize for how
I don't
dumb
think
that
so.
sounds, or do we know about that?
Probably not. Like you know what really does bug me about him? And I'm not going to turn this into a fucking Mark Wahlberg podcast, but anytime I hear him talk about what a Christian he is, and then in the same breath he'll go like, "Oh, well, maybe I want to do one more Entourage movie." It's like, "Oh, wow, great Christian you are." It's like, you
Catholic. Don't you want to put a ash cross on your forehead? And I don't want to mock Catholics. That is not my intention here. But whenever he talks about Catholicism that I've seen, it's always followed up by an opportunity for him to make money. And I'm not a scholar, but isn't there like some verses in Matthew that say, "Hey, don't do that."
Actually.
Don't do
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Like,
several.
that's not cool, Mark. And also I think it's completely taking over your podcast here. Why are films like Flight Risk struggling to make money when the right wing seems to be in charge? Like, do y'all bail on your entertainment when you don't feel like the minority anymore? That's so interesting.
So I'll give you just a little free piece of advice here, people. If you see these Republican actors who are talking about how they're rallying against the bad evil machine, or they end up becoming, like going in the government, more than likely they're like Ben Shapiro, where they had dreams of being a Hollywood elite, and they couldn't stomach it because they're not talented enough, so they became a conservative drifter. So just keep that in mind, and that also applies to Ben Shapiro as well. So
yeah, and I get Shapiro. Like 10 seconds into Shapiro, I'm like, oh, okay, this is a grift. I get it.
Yeah, exactly.
But I don't. I don't see that. And by the way, Ben, a lot of celebrities.
By the way, Ben, I'd love to have you come on the show because I'll actually debate your ass. I'm not gonna, So come on the show, homie. By the way, those people from God's Not Dead never got back to me. By the way, which is a damn shame because I would have loved to talk to them about their movie. Spoiler, that might be on the list. But we'll get there. Oh, and then I'll throw out last one. Borderlands. Borderlands is garbage. Do not fucking watch it. All right. So to get to my list proper, and I use Borderlands specifically as my last example because it was in a 3-way tie for my number 10. I never do three-way ties. I'll do a two. I'll do a tie, but a three-way tie, even for me, I think is a little much. But my films tied at number 10 are tied at number 10 for some reason that Borderlands is a dishonorable mention. It's these movies with high budgets that could not give a fuck about its audience and quite frankly are insulting to their audience. And that is Red One and Joker Folie à Deux are tied at number 10. Let me start with Red One first. Dwayne Johnson, dude, I don't know what to say at this point, man. He just doesn't fucking care. Like, he is a brand. He is not an actor. He is a brand. He'll go on Instagram, be like, "Oh yeah, look at my cheat meal. I would never take a steroid." Wink. So let me show you that. Oh, let me show you about how I can somehow tie Moana into. Oh man, Moana's exhausted. She's dehydrated. If only she had something to drink, like my tequila. Wink. Like, it's just it's gotten so gross at this point with him. And actually, let me pull up his last couple films because like because it's so weird because Dwayne Johnson, when he's doing those Jumanji films and it kind of forces him to make fun of himself a little bit, he's actually very charming. So like I know that gear is there because I've seen it, and even something like Journey to the Mysterious Island, as much as a very like base level family films that is, he is fun in that, and him and Michael Caine actually have some good chemistry. But when you look at the last few things he's done, Jungle Cruise, Red Notice, holy fuck, that movie sucks. Black Adam, Young Rock, not great. I like Fast 10. Like, I stand by my love of Fast 10, but I'll be the first to admit, like, those movies are so like off what their genesis was as far as car films. Like, they're Hot Wheels films at this point. Like, they're superhero Hot Wheels films. Is what those films are.
If Rock and Vin Diesel's egos could be brought down to just a simmer, I think a Fast and Furious documentary on their relationship could be the highest grossing documentary of all time.
I think it'd be fascinating. Yeah. Like, if they actually were to get into it. And then what else? Oh yes, Rampage in 2018, Ick. Skyscraper in 2018, Ick. Like, it's Baywatch 2017, Ick. Like, it's Central Intelligence 2016. Did I mention that he has a cameo in Jim and the fucking Holograms? Like it's been a rough decade for him. Like, I stand by my love of Hobbs and Shaw because it is a TNT movie for guys who like movies with a $150 million budget. Like, that's what that movie is. And it is entertaining as hell. It is not a good film. It is actually quite a bad film. But goddamn, dude, I don't know what his end game is anymore. Like, I don't know what he as an actor even wants to do. Because I mean, he's getting closer to 60 at this point. So it's like, 52, whatever. Like so at some point the bottom's gonna fall out. You're gonna have to start, either not acting and just action shit and trying to hone your craft, or you're just gonna keep being a brand. And I will stand by the fact that his attempt of taking over DC is still one of the douchiest things that I've ever seen in my goddamn life. And that was just another ding against that brand in the time where they really didn't need things, where they could have brought back Cavill Superman and actually done something with him. They actually could have moved forward from the Snyder shit, but they couldn't help themselves. And so he empowered the Snyder fans by bringing back Cavill. He tried to fuck over Gunn like a motherfucker with, with the coup. And at the end of the day, he fucked over Shazam as a character. So I will never respect him for that. If I ever meet the motherfucker, I'll say it to its fucking face. I don't give a fuck if you give me your shitty one-arm body slam finishing move. Yeah, that's what a rock bottom is. I know y'all don't want to admit it, but that's what it fucking is. I'm over him. And this is just another case of him making another Red One. I kept getting Red One and Red Notice confused. I had to keep telling myself one, because why name them so close together with a movie that's so shitty? Like, That's number one. Number two, this movie, the plot, like some of the shit that occurs in it is just so like. Do you remember when the third Mummy came out, Tomb of the Dragon
No,
Emperor?
I never saw it.
Like, you're lucky. So that movie has kung fu abominable snowmen in it, and you can just hear the studio notes of going like, what CGI package just came out? Oh, snowmen, sure, let's throw that in here. And that's exactly what they do for Red One, because they have these abominable snowmen that are super hard to kill. Chris Evans, dude. Man, like one of the jokes that we have in our chat that Canada always brings up is thank God for Marvel. like oh man, these people do bullshit outside of outside of the MCU. Thank God for Marvel. And dude, I love Chris Evans. Like I know back when I was doing stuff for oneofus.net, I know one of our reviews was defending Jacob. That's still one of my favorite reviews we've done because you did not like that, and I was just telling you how wrong you were. But it was like a fun discussion. Mm-hmm. This is like the definition of thank God for Marvel, because Chris Evans is like lip dick energy in this movie. He has no charisma. He's not funny. Even when he's talking to his kid, I'm like, man, I don't think you like your kid at all. I think Charlie Sheen liked Jake more than you like your son in this, And then we get to J.K. Simmons, who, honest to God, is the one thing in this movie I actually liked. And he's in it for about the same length of time as Liam Neeson is in Battleship. He comes in, sets the tone, like is basically like, I'm a really cool Santa and kids actually like me. And he has this really good monologue about people being cynical and like not embracing the actual true nature and the true reason behind the season. And I was like, wow, that is a really great, like, it reminded me of that speech in Daddy's Home 2 where like John Lithgow breaks the film for 5 minutes and gives that monologue about, you know, his wife leaving him and the fact that he is developing where he's starting to lose his faculties. And I remember just going like, whoa, that's a great scene in this bullshit movie. And that's basically what J.K. Simmons is. He's in this movie for maybe 10 minutes, and half the time he is kidnapped and like strapped to this machine that drains him of his Santa powers. It doesn't fucking matter. It's such a bad movie. And shout out to Jamarco in the chat, who also does who's been on and does a lot of the music here on the pod. He said exactly what I like. We said it almost in real time at the same time, where he was like, watch Dwayne Johnson make the pivot when this doesn't do well in the box office. It's like, it'll be the #1 stream movie on Prime Video. And that's exactly what Dwayne Johnson did. He was like, oh, well, we pivoted because people weren't appreciating it in the theater. It's like, no, people weren't seeing it because it was shit. That's why people didn't see it. And so, yeah, like, I watch shit at home. Fuck, I watch Hot Frosty at home. Like just because it's like the #1 streaming movie. Like, get over yourself, man. Like, just admit it's shit and move on. And I feel so bad for oh my god, I'm blanking on her name. Kiernan Shipka, who played Sabrina in Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. She was also the main star in Totally Killer. She was also on Mad Men, also in Twisters. I'm such a fan of hers. I really like her, and I think she really has something. And I think she is, she's 25. So I mean, she's got her whole career ahead of her, and I hope she gets better shit. But she's the villain in the movie, and she's given like so little motivation. Like, it's so frustrating. Like, it feels like she's so wasted in the movie, but there's no reason to fucking watch it, and it's absolute garbage. Like, it's time I truly wish I could get back. And then I move on to Joker, Fully Ado, and let me just say, I told you so. I told you so. I told you so. I told you so. I had so many people going, come on, Hunter. Why do you hate on Todd Phillips? Joker made $1 billion. It won the Oscars. And it's like, oh, because, you know, bullshit films have never won Oscars before. Cough, King Richard, cough. I'm so happy this movie bombed. Like, I rarely root for films to fail. I am so happy this movie did shitty. And it's a very harsh reminder, DC, that sometimes you need to go ahead and cash out the casino when you can. Because if they had just left us with one, and not done a sequel, people would have been like, hey, it's a controversial film, but Joaquin Phoenix gave an Oscar-worthy performance. It's a great score, and Todd Phillips directed his best film to date. But no, he could not help himself. DC could not help themselves. They had to go back for seconds. And what this movie is straight up an abomination. And quite frankly, it hates its audience. It flat out tells its audience, how dare you make me make this movie again? How dare you go ahead and buy into the edgelord Arthur Fleck character? How dare you buy into his Joker? Oh, wait, did I mention he's not the Joker? So the whole first film is fucking pointless because he's actually not the Joker. Waka waka. That's what the movie does.
I've never seen it. They actually went with that angle then.
They did, yeah. Like, they straight up go, like, he goes up on the stand and goes, I'm not the Joker. I didn't know what I was doing. And I was like, that's what, like, the movie pulls that shit. And then
what is he on trial? He's on trial for all the murders, I'm guessing? Like the murder of the doctor at the end of the first film?
Yeah. And then did I mention that he gets stabbed randomly in his cell by his cellmate, who they introduced randomly, who
is his name Zaz?
No, so you know what's funny is I thought that's exactly what they're gonna go with. I actually would have been like because at this point I was like you're gonna just shoehorn Batman.
I mean,
like,
it's a fun Easter egg because it's kind of an obscure villain, right?
Yeah, that actually would have been.
I guess that didn't happen, but it's
yeah.
I'm
not
My
saying
name's
it's
Joe Chill. Stab, stab, stab.
Weirdly, I would have probably been more okay with that than what they did. But yeah, his random cellmate just stabs him. And then the movie, again, because they can't help themselves, kind of alludes to maybe his cellmate is the real Joker. Dun dun dun. It's like, Jesus Christ. It's like you cannot help yourselves. And at the end of the day, it fails at its primary function. It's a shit musical. It's a shit musical. You have one of the most prolific singers in the last 30 years in Lady Gaga, and she doesn't have one solo number. It makes no goddamn sense. Like, I don't understand how they did this. And the opening of the film, opening with that Warner Brothers animated version, like recap of the Joker. Why? Like, what are we like? The moment I saw that, I went, uh-oh. Like, I actually was like, oh, we might be in trouble. And And the other thing too, and I've said this for years doing this list, one thing that will get you on this list is if it feels like the movie is dragging. And this movie feels like 3 hours. It's so goddamn long. It doesn't know when to stop. It's so frustrating. Like, it's 2 hours 18 and it felt like 250 easily. I zombie walked out of that theater. When the credits started to roll, I was just like, oh my God. Like, I remember I went to like Bath and Body Works to get like my to get some lotion or something. And I just remember I was just walking around the store for like 5 minutes. And I actually had to kind of like pinch myself because I was like, what the fuck did I just watch? It's so bad. It's on HBO Max right now, and I cannot stress enough how I would tell people to watch Gotham instead of watching Folie à Deux. Like watch that Joker shit. There's no reason to watch Folie à Deux. And I own Joker too. It's one of those movies right there with Man of Steel where I'm like, I was way too generous to this when it first came out. I gave Joker a B-, and that's a movie that has aged horribly for me. Yeah, cannot stand it. Do not watch it. So that's my number 10. Moving on to number 9. Oh God, this is my number 9, isn't it? Hello, Darkness, my old friend. It's Cooney McCoon, Tyler Perry's Mea Culpa at number 9. I'm so tired of this dude. I just want him to go away. Like, he keeps putting out movies, and I'm like, of course you put this out. Because, like, at some point, like, I'm no longer getting C's in the class. Like y'all need to stop giving this dude a break. And I know Kelly Rowland, I have multiple issues with her, including speaking up for Chris Brown and saying, like, we need to learn to forgive. Motherfucker, he needs to learn to apologize. So we'll start there. Kelly Rowland, at the end of the day, she's not a good actress. She's not a good actress. She's fine as hell, but at the end of the day, there are a lot of hot women that would be better actors than you. And
I just checked my IMDb here. You said Kelly Rowland.
yeah, she was in Destiny's Child. She was the very dark one.
Oh, she was in Freddy vs. Jason. Okay.
Yeah, Freddy vs. Jason is fun, but like
It's a fun movie, yeah.
but yeah, this shit is just it's so bad, and like it's just bad, and Netflix keeps doing like this is the shit again. I know we have this argument all the time. This is the shit when Netflix goes, oh, we're gonna raise our prices. I'm like, kiss my ass. You're putting this shit out and you're gonna tell me to pay you more? Fuck you, Netflix. Like this shit is just it's trifling. It like that's okay, like that's the perfect term. It is trifling. She plays a defense attorney. Oh, you know what her defense attorney? You know her name is in the movie. Bradley, it's Maya. Get it? Mea culpa. Yeah, waka waka. Because Tyler Perry is so goddamn clever. Like people, come on. Like your first screenwriting class, they would tell you don't do shit like this, and Tyler Perry's like, wait, I missed that class. What was that? I don't understand it. I genuinely do not understand. Trevante Rhodes, I'm such a fan of this dude. Like, I'm such a fan of him. He was amazing in Moonlight. Even though I don't think the series as a whole is a great series, I thought he did a good job playing Mike Tyson in that miniseries. The brother's 34, so I mean he's got plenty of career ahead of him. But Black people, stop doing Tyler Perry films. Like seriously, there's nothing here for you. Like these are not going to make you look better. The film, the movie literally ends with Maya walking out of the courtroom, and then Isaac Hayes Walk On By starts to play. And that's when I just threw my hands up. I was like, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. I was like, there is no subtlety is not a world in Tyler Perry land. And I just cannot, like, at this point, I can't, man. I can't with this shit anymore. We need to start calling him out for the bullshit that he does. And this is some bullshit. So, mea culpa, that's number 9. Let me take a sip of my water here, or my coffee here. It's a stuff. All right. As I got my mustache. So, all right. Number 8. Oh God, this is another. Oh my God, I just realized there's several Netflix movies in a row here. This is another Netflix movie, and this is one from Lee Daniels. It's The Deliverance. This is the one with Glenn Close, Monique, Andra Day. This is the one where there's the Black family who's living in Indiana, and they go ahead and they discover that there's a demon in the house. This is the film where Glenn Close gets possessed and literally looks at her Black daughter and says, "I smell your nappy pussy." That is a line in this movie. It is not said for a laugh. It is not said as a joke. It is said completely straight with no sense of irony. Fuck you, movie. I hate this movie. I hate this movie so much. This is one of those why don't you leave the house movies. And the problem is, like, they talk about like they're poor and da-da-da, but then you find out that they have an aunt's house they could have gone to the whole time. And I'm like, oh cool, so you're fucking stupid. That's the moral of this story. And then they have this woman go ahead and lay out like the whole history of the house. Like, oh my God, there's like a murder happened here and yada, yada, yada. And this mom who has seen her son climbing on walls is like, oh no, there's no demon in the house. There's no way it could be that. I'm like, bitch, what else do you need to fucking see to know that you're having something wrong with your house? And
it's just parkour. It's about
exactly. Yeah, exactly. Black people can just jump that high. That's why he's on the ceiling. Like fuck off, movie. And the one thing I will say is Caleb McLaughlin is in the movie, and that young brother is just special. He's so goddamn special. You of course know him from Stranger Things, Concrete Cowboy, Book of Clarence. Like I'm such a fan of that young brother. Like he is special, and I know he can't wait to get away from Hawkins, Indiana, and start doing his own shit. But yeah, man, like it's such a shit movie. Like there's just no reason to watch it. Like even for camp, it's not good. And Glenn Close, I love me some Glenn Close, but her Netflix record between this and Hillbilly Elegy, what the fuck are you doing? Stop saying yes to everything. Look at these goddamn scripts. Like it's so goddamn frustrating. So yeah, do not watch this. And Monique, for going on Shannon Sharp's podcast and calling out Tyler Perry and Lee Daniels, thank you for that, by the way. But then you're working with Lee Daniels, and this is a script that gets you to come back? Really? This is the one? Like, take your holier-than-thou attitude and fucking shove it if you're going to go ahead and work with these people when they're giving you shit like this. Like, get over yourself. I hate this movie. Hate it. So that is number 8 is The Deliverance. All right, moving on to number 7. This is another guy like Tyler Perry where I'm just like, I just want you to go away. Like, can you just go away for 5 years and just leave me alone? It's Rebel Moon Part 2, The Scargiver. Zack Snyder just in his, to paraphrase Swifties, in his not give a fuck era, this dude just could not give less of a fuck. It is amazing to me that Netflix keeps giving him money. The thing I will say that makes me happy about this is that it's just he continues to prove me right more and more, because people are like, hey, Army of the Dead, Dawn of the Dead universe. Oh, look, nothing. Oh, well, look, come on, he's gonna have a new universe of Rebel Moon, and nothing. Like, maybe, just maybe, he wasn't screwed by Warner Brothers. Maybe, just maybe, this guy has always been a fucking hack, and I've been telling you this shit for a decade, and maybe some of you are finally catching up, because, and before you all go, what about Dawn of the Dead? Who wrote that script? That would be James Gunn, the guy who's going to actually make DC good. That guy. Zach's like, the thing that's so frustrating about Zack Snyder is visually he's a great director, and I think if he would just pull his head out of his ass and find someone who could like translate the shitty, like his 99 shitty ideas and take the one that's actually good and build a script around that, I think he could actually be a great director. He needs to find a writing partner who gets him, because he clearly doesn't have one right now. And when he's working with his wife, it's like when what's her name? It's like when Melissa McCarthy works with her husband. And I'm just like, you keep churning out these shitty comedies. And it's like, it's so cool that you love each other, but that doesn't translate to screen. So I could give a fuck about your relationship, because I'm not judging your relationship. I'm judging the film.
I did just double check with IMDb powers, and he did write Rebel Moon, The Scargiver.
Yep. Oh, I know.
I might be completely wrong, but did you see the original Scargiver run? I've seen neither, by the way, just a heads up. Or did you see the super spectacular your whole day to watch version?
So that's
or is there not one?
So that's the other thing, y'all. No, I'm done doing that. I'm done watching alternate versions of shitty movies to get the full shit experience. No, like, because there's no reason for an alternate version. It's fucking Netflix. They have fucking oh god damn it, why am I like they have those 365-day movies on there, which are like as close to porn as you can find. Like, I'm sorry, I need to watch another version of this fucking movie for it to be good? Fuck you. No, I'm not doing that, Netflix.
I haven't heard that the extended ones are any better though.
Yeah, what a shocker. What a fucking shocker. And at this point, that's such a gimmick with him that I'm refusing to buy into it. I'm not watching alternate versions of your shit. Netflix has stuff that's, TVY to fucking TVMA and NC-17. There's no fucking reason for an alternate cut. You did that just to get more views. Fuck you. I'm not playing your game. The fact that there is grain being thrown at the ground in slow motion. What are we doing, man? Like, come on. Like
Sci-fi
not
movie
everything.
as well.
Like fucking Beautiful Joe doesn't use slow motion as much as Snyder does. And at least Beautiful Joe had a fucking point in doing it. Can you stop with this, man? And look, what's the girl's name? I can't remember the main actress's name.
I got the IMDb. Let's see, Sophia Boutella.
Yeah. Thank you.
Sophia Boutella could be great.
Man,
I mean that. I actually mean that. I'm pretty sure I mean that. Let me see.
I think she could be, but she is just getting like I don't know, man. And like I did not know she's 42. She does not look it. So I mean, good for her.
Sure, not at all.
She doesn't look 42 at all. But Jesus Christ on the cross, man. Like, I don't understand how he's so, like, everything about this movie is just so bad. The best performance is Anthony Hopkins, and he voices a fucking robot. Like, goddamn, can someone hear? Like,
very underrated voice actor, Anthony Hopkins.
Absolutely.
And Jimmy the Robot. Like I said, I haven't seen these films at all. I have no desire to, but Jimmy the Robot looks cool. But that brings it back to what you said. Maybe pass the pen to someone who could give a little bit of life to Jimmy the Robot. You made Jimmy the Robot look cool. I credit Zack Snyder for that.
Yeah.
Now bring it to life with an actual scribe, an actual writer.
Yeah, but
it shouldn't be that hard. I'm sure people would love to write for him, right?
Gunn
has never said writing that script with Zack Snyder was awful. He's never said that. So I don't know.
But I'll be real. James Gunn might be too nice for his own good at points, to be honest. Because I'll be real, man. Because I'll be real, man. Like the fact that he was like, "Oh, I'm so happy Marvel brought me back to finish up my Guardians trilogy," I would have been like, "Oh yeah, Marvel can suck a dick for the way they fucking fired me and caved into those conservative fucktard." Like, no, man. I just at some point
you call that the ABC arm of Disney when they cave to slight criticism.
Yeah, and yet you can still stream Dumbo where they have the fucking Jim Crows on
I've always been fascinated by Batista, who does not have the clout and the armor of an A-lister standing up so strongly for Gunn during that time.
Yeah.
Like, wow, he did not have to do that at all. And he certainly doesn't have the reputation to do that. And he comes out. It's a lot like when who was it? J. Cole that backed away from the feud.
Yeah,
J. Cole, don't step to Kendrick. Kendrick will destroy us all. And that's
exactly.
Batista in the other way, like, don't step to Gunn. Gunn is a brilliant. Gunn made me a better actor. And just any actor saying that about any director, my ears always perk up like, huh? Credit is being shared for your performance.
Well, you can tell,
and look at Batista now; he's fantastic,
dude. He's an amazing actor.
Yeah,
he really is an amazing actor. But it's so. And look, like, I've talked about Ray Fisher, but dude, like, this is not the guy to hit your horse to, man. Like you need to get away. You need to get away from Snyder, man. Like you honestly do. Like, just because your sets are fun doesn't mean it translates to a great cinematic experience. And that is about the work. Not about and that is just paramount at this point. Like, dude, like it's gonna be really funny because I can already hear it. People are gonna be like, I don't even know you'd call this restore the Rebelverse, restore the moon. I don't like what's the hashtag gonna be this time, people? Like, what is your dumb bitching gonna be about now?
It's my understanding though that even Snyder stans didn't care for these movies too much.
Yeah,
I might be wrong.
I had a couple of people try to come at me, and I was like, "Tell me one person's origin story," and then that would always end the argument. It's like, because like you can't tell me someone's origin story. Like one of the big things in this movie is Sophia Boutella's character, killed the Emperor's daughter, and that's like tortured her for years, for like her whole life. And guess what happens at the end of Rebel 2? The daughter wasn't dead. And it's like, oh my god! It's like, of course,
is there supposed to be a third one of these?
They set it up for a third one. I doubt we get it. I think even Netflix is
Even
like,
Netflix is
okay.
moving on. You
Yeah,
had
it's
your
like
4
enough.
seasons worth of material, Snyder. It's over.
Yeah, it's like enough.
Netflix.
Yeah. Maybe hope for that digital comic like you were for his Justice League, because you're not getting more Rebel Moon. Yeah, this shit is bad. So that's my number 7. All right, moving on to number 6. Hello, Darkness, my old friend again. Part 2, Tyler Perry's Divorce in the Black. A Prime Video exclusive, because now Tyler Perry has apparently has a deal with Prime Video yet again, pissing me off.
So he's collecting streaming deals like Infinity Stones here.
Dude, he honestly is at this point. It's just I'm so depressed. He's he's like Tyler Perry really is oh, I'm blanking. I think it was Underdog. Yeah. It was Underdog where they had that one character who'd go, "Sad One Fair is everywhere." That's how Tyler Perry feels. Like, I cannot escape him. He's just like a bane in my critical existence. And so let me tell you the story of this movie. I know it's gonna shock you. It's about a black woman in an abusive relationship. I know, what a stretch for Tyler Perry.
Is the husband playing the actor specifically dark skinned?
Of course. Well, so he's a little. I mean, he's a little light skinned, kinda.
Well, there you go.
But
progress.
But I love that's how we're giving points now.
He saw that episode of Boondocks. Good for him.
Yeah, exactly. But here's the thing: the main character in the movie is wow. Actually, on Google, if you look up Divorce in the Black, it literally says Megan Good. And it says actress. It doesn't even have her character's goddamn name. Jesus Christ, Ava. I had to go on IMDb and look that up. But Megan Good plays Ava. And here's the thing, y'all. Megan Good is now engaged to Jonathan Majors, and this is maybe 4 months after he got fired from Marvel, and you have Megan Good playing a woman in an abusive relationship. Can you not read the room, Tyler Perry? Mm-hmm. Like, come on, man. And the movie is like, and I've brought up this complaint all the time, and I'm gonna keep doing so. Why can't black women be strong by themselves? Why do they always need a man in these movies to fucking save them? Why do they always need Jesus to save them?
Is this one of his faith-based movies?
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, like they're all like this. So of course she goes back home. Her parents are like, "Oh my God, baby, he doesn't deserve you." But here's this guy who works in literal fields who can go ahead and help lift you up and take you back to Jesus. And it's like, God fucking damn it. I'm so over this shit. Like, there's no deviation from these plots. It's the same goddamn thing. Like, I know Hallmark gets shit. Tyler Perry should get just as much shit for doing this shit over and over and over again. And I'm tired, man. And then, of course, so the one thing I will give this movie is that she ends up killing him. She shoots him. But this is after he's abused her for years. And they go to church every Sunday and sit there in the pews like, "Yep, everything's fine. Nope. Don't need to talk to anyone. Can't talk to anyone at the church." Which, by the way, isn't that the whole fucking point of going to church, that you can actually talk to people about your issues? Isn't that what people base church on? When I used to go as a kid, that was always my thing, that church was there for you to actually talk about your partner problems and be a better person. Apparently not anymore. And considering how some of you fucking voted, definitely not now. I
think it would do society and the church, any dogma, honestly, a whole lot of good if we actually got a film where just one character in a church approaches someone in an abusive relationship and just asks, like, "Is everything okay at home?"
Dude, you never see that.
Why doesn't that happen? Yeah, I agree with you. Why doesn't that happen? Because people are perceptive.
Man. Yeah. But people love to turn a blind eye. And you know, there's a reason the term church answer exists. When people are like, "Oh, hey, how are you?" It's like, "Oh, I'm great." It's like, no, tell people how you're actually doing. If you're in it, please, people, if you're in an abusive relationship, by the way, that does not include just hitting someone. That's another trope that needs to go the fuck away. Like, you can emotionally abuse someone. Please be aware of that, people. Please be aware of that. And in this movie, just it is infuriating. It is fucking infuriating, man. I Tyler Perry's Divorce in the Black. That's number 6. And again, I'd love to have Tyler Perry on because I would honestly love to ask him, like, dude, how do you sleep at night doing this shit over and over again? And you say you're giving Black people opportunities, and yet you're pigeonholing us. Like, I would love for him to answer that because anytime it's been brought up, he dances around that shit and never has a straight answer. So,
what was Megan Good's paycheck? Was Megan Good's paycheck 7 figures?
I have no, I don't know. Like I don't.
I respect you so much for, because I'm a hypocrite on this topic, and I'm admitting that, listeners. Brad is a hypocrite in what he's about to say. I think it's fine to hustle and make a ton of money, but at the same time, no, I am not going to watch a Tyler Perry movie. So that's not a layered, interesting statement I've just made. It's a hypocrite statement. Like, get it, Tyler, get the money, Tyler Perry. But no, I'm not watching your movies. They look terrible.
And here's the other thing.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Were you at any time, if you can remember, thinking, well, at least he's making a ton of money, and that's fine? Or were you right away like, this guy's making sham movies that don't help or say anything?
So it took me about 3.
Yeah.
It took me about 3 movies until like the spell broke. Like, I remember watching, it was what I still remember it because I saw it after church on Sunday. Go figure. And I was with my family in Texas, and I remember we saw Madea Goes to Jail. Lord knows why. And I'm sitting there about halfway through, and I went, wait a minute. Why are all the Black women abusing this? Why does he always treat these women like fucking whores? Why is it that God comes in basically like Aslan the Lion in the Narnia movies in the bottom of the 9th when these Black people are like at their lowest point and goes, oh, well, now I'll do something. But instead of God, it's fucking Madea. It's like, why does this keep happening? And I brought up to my mom, and I remember she kind of like paused and looked at me for a second. She was like, huh. And I was like, yeah, why does this keep happening? And yeah, because look, look, fair is fair. There's a couple funny gags in Diary of a Mad Black Woman, but even that title is rather problematic because she's being abused by her husband the whole time. So the movie's acting like she has no reason to be mad. She has every fucking right to be mad. And so yeah, man. So I'll admit I'm a hypocrite to an extent, because if Tyler Perry was like, I'll pay you to be in a Tyler Perry movie, I'd be like, yeah, cool. Now, it would cost him $50 million because there's no goddamn way I'm doing it for less. Like, if I'm going to sell my soul, you better make it worth my fucking time. Like, because I know some people will be like, oh yeah, $1 million on there. Fuck that. No. Because like after taxes, that's like 25, like taxes. So sorry, let me backtrack. Churches, taxes are these things that you should pay in order to have any sort of voice in political discourse. If you don't pay taxes, you should shut the fuck up. Cool. Got the address. Now, going back to Tyler Perry. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, like 50 mil. Yeah, 50 mil. Yeah, 50 mil out the gate. That's what it would take.
I think that's fair with how lucrative Tyler Perry's brand is.
Oh, 1,000%. And the thing is too, because I know some people will make this argument. Well, come on, Hunter. He's working for the studios. That's why he has to write these movies like that. He owns his own studio now. He owns his shit. So it's all him. It is all him. And he is not produced someone else's script. He is not directed based on anyone else's script outside of For Color Girls, which is based on a play. So he's not actually elevating other people's stuff. I would be fascinated to see him direct a well-written script by like an up-and-coming Black screenwriter and see what happens. But he doesn't do that because he's not about actually elevating people. He's about keeping it here, right here in the middle. No reason to go up, no reason to go down. It is all about maintaining the status quo in his films. So, yeah, dude, fuck you. So, Divorce in the Black, number 6. Um, all right, now we're into the top 5. Oh
I
God.
still haven't seen any of
Um,
your worst stuff yet, too. So
you're
yay for me, I
you're
guess.
and you have not seen this one. You are very lucky that you haven't. So one of my biggest pet peeves are bad kids films. I hate bad kids films. I hate them very, very much. By the way, parents, your kids deserve better. Don't show them shit when they're a kid, so that way they can actually have better film taste when they're an adult. Don't show them shit like you know, Oogie Loves or or the live action Underdog or Alvin the Chipmunks. Show your kids actual good shit. There's plenty of good shit out there. This film does not qualify. Number 5, Megamind versus the Doom Syndicate. Holy fucking shit. What the fuck, Peacock? What are we doing here? So I never seen Megamind all the way through. I never seen it until this past year. So I actually sat down and watched Megamind for the first time. Megamind's fun. It's a fun flick. Solid B minus. I enjoyed it. I had fun with it. Yeah, underrated. This movie, man, nothing. There is not a goddamn thing worth recommending about this. There's nothing about this. And it's made even worse by the fact that the ending is a backdoor pilot for Peacock original series called Megamind Rules, which is the same goddamn budget and the same people behind this fucking movie. It is garbage.
Is
Garbage.
Will Ferrell voicing Megamind in this?
Fuck no, man.
Okay.
They didn't have the budget for that.
Well,
they didn't get Tina Fey. Yeah,
that's
no.
kind of like a huge part of the charm of the first film is how funny Will Ferrell is.
All right, I'm gonna read you some. The only person who came back, the only person that came back was Tony Hale. I'm sure Tony Hale was like, sure, why not? I can do this from home. Like, I doubt he even went to a studio. I bet he did this shit over StreamYard like we're doing it right now. He was like, I can do my lines like this, right? Like, I don't need to waste the gas, right? Like, this shit. Oh my god, it's so bad. Like, there's nothing. So here's the thing. The whole plot is the Doom Syndicate, who is Megamind's former villain team, come back and they're like, hey, we're supposed to go ahead and steal some stuff, and you went ahead and ditched us, but we're back, so now we need to go ahead and reform. But Megamind's like, but I'm a good guy now, so how do I trick them into thinking I'm still bad and somehow get rid of them? That's your plot.
Okay.
Yeah. And they're gonna launch Metro City into the moon, which I actually completely forgot about. There's no reason, man. There's no reason for it. I think the movie is it's an hour 25. It is 85 minutes, so it's basically the same length as Flow. You could have fooled me, man. I thought this was an hour and 5 minutes easily. This shit just drags and drags. Oh, by the way, it completely erases all of the character development from the first film, because he had the what's his name, his sidekick or whatever, that
I think his name was Minion, played by David Cross.
Thank you. Yeah, that they were on evil, like on the equal footing after the first film, and the film completely erases all that. So it's like, no, I'm back to being a dick. No, I am one, you are two. And so then Minion goes ahead and leaves him and goes off and launches a donut shop.
Okay.
That is the film. This is in this fucking movie. Like, it is. It's so,
Roxy still there? Does he still see Roxy?
And they make Zack Snyder might as well have written Roxy here, because she is just a bitch and not good in any way, shape, or form. I don't even know who voices Roxy this time. I think it's Laura Post. That's who. She was in Justice League. I'm going through her filmography. It's not worth it. This is it's nothing, man. It's just a nothing burger at the end of the day. It's just there's. You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of that Married with Children joke where Peg is like, "Hey Al, I made you lunch. This is just bread. What is this? Oh, it's a club sandwich. Hold the club. That's what this movie is. Like, there's nothing here for you to be excited about or to show any sort of inspiration for. And the budget, holy fuck, the budget. This is like those Barbie like Dream House direct to DVD movies. Like, and the budget on those is probably better than this. Like this animation looks schlocky, it looks jagged, it looks it's bad, man. There's just nothing about this. And if I show, so I will say too, I watched this back to back from the first Megamind, which is probably the biggest mistake in the world, because I saw the good version and then saw this shit, and I was like, oh wow, so this is you cutting every corner humanly possible.
The first film has a very, as you said, do better for your kids. The first film, actually, any parents listening, has incredible themes about identity. Do you have an obligation to the role that other people give you? Is doing what you enjoy worth it if what you enjoy isn't something you're very good at? It's very deep stuff for kids that more kids should know about. I always appreciated when my kids wanted to watch Megamind. We did not watch this one, though. You're correct.
Yeah, do not watch it.
It looked bad in the... So
yeah, dude, it's so bad, man. It's so bad. So that is my number 5. Do not watch this. It is on Peacock. Like, seriously, kids, watch Ultraman Rising. That's streaming on Netflix. Watch that shit. My Dad the Bounty Hunter. That's on Netflix. Watch that. Like, Klaus is on Netflix. Watch that. There's so much better shit out there for you to watch on streaming than this shit. So yeah, that is Megamind versus Doom Syndicate is my number 5. My number 4. Oh man, I'm gonna take a few minutes on this one, because this is a movie that just, I hate this actor. I'm gonna straight up say it. I fucking hate this actor. If I ever met him, I would flip him off to his face and tell him he sucked. I fucking hate this dude. My number 4 is Harold and the Purple Crayon. Fuck you, Zachary Levi. Oh my God in heaven. How is this? So, okay. We all know Hollywood is just a greedy machine that will take any IP and try to make money off it. I didn't even know Harold and the Purple Crayon was a fucking book series until I started doing some research on this. Had no idea it was a book series. No clue whatsoever. So these books go back to the 50s, apparently. Again, no idea. Had no clue. So the movie opens up with like the animation style of the books, which I went, oh, okay, like that's actually really cute. I like this. And it's like the movie almost like the movie fucking rope-a-dopes you. It fucking tricks you, because it's like, oh, look at this cute animation. Aha, now we're going to the real world. It's like, oh god damn it, of course we are. And where could we go? Could we go to Chicago? Could we go to New Orleans? Could we go to Austin? Could we go to Portland? No. Let's go to New York, because everything has to take place in New York. And it's like, oh my god, like, can we please, like, even Marvel has gone on New York a couple times. Like, can we please stop going to New York for every goddamn thing?
Yeah, kudos to Feige for being aware of the New York problem as well, and kind of like taking notes on it. That's pretty fun.
Yeah, so okay, so Zachary Levi, let's talk about this. So he was in the Marvelous Miss Maisel, which is actually a very great show, very underrated. More people need to watch it. It's all out now. I love Zachary Levi from Chuck. I love Chuck. I think Chuck is a great fucking show. I don't think I can ever watch it again, because like when I look at what he's done, so he did that last Spy Kids movie, which, oh man, it would so be on my list if that came out last year. Spy Kids Armageddon. Holy fuck, that movie blows chunks. But then he also did he was also in fucking Alvin the Chipmunks the Squeakquel, which, gag. He has, oh god.
No, that's
yeah.
I was teaching my kids about that real quick, because they're all like, what do you mean when you say the script is different than the person casted? I said, oh, well, remember in the Squeakquel when because my little kids watched those movies, and it's fine. A mark on my parenthood. But anyways, I said, remember in the Squeakquel when Jason Lee's all like, I'm getting Aunt Jackie to watch you. And they're like, Aunt Jackie? Who's Aunt Jackie, Dave? Anyways, so Aunt Jackie's watching them, and they're like, do you have kids, Aunt Jackie? And Aunt Jackie says, yes, I have a son named Toby. He plays video games all day. Anyways, Aunt Jackie hurts herself, and Zachary Levi, playing Toby, says, oh my gosh, Aunt Jackie, I'm so sorry. And your character, Toby, that's your mom. Why are you saying Aunt Jackie? Because in the script, her name's Aunt Jackie. That's as much work as they put into it. And my kids are like, oh. So yeah.
The thing about Zachary Levi is between this. Oh, did I mention he has a new film coming out next month called The Unbreakable Boy? Here's the synopsis.
Cool.
When Scott and Teresa learn that their son Austin is autistic and has brittle bone disease, they initially worry about his future.
Let Zachary Levi talk about autism, please.
Oh, here we go. Oh, I'm not done. I'm not done.
I'm ready. All right. Sorry.
However, with Scott's growing faith in Austin's incredible spirit, they become unbreakable as they find joy, gratitude, and courage in the most trying times. This is directed by John Gunn, who has directed Do You Believe?, The Case for Christ, and Ordinary Angels. I wonder what sort of slant that movie's gonna take. Like Zachary Levi, he's bad, man. Like he's bad. And for a plot device that's a purple crayon, which is basically the Green Lantern ring, it's like, all right, how I can literally draw whatever the fuck I want. He draws a fucking helicopter in the middle of fucking New York. No one reports it. No one gives a fuck. Nothing. No air traffic control going, hey, why the fuck is there a giant fucking purple helicopter in the middle of the sky? Nothing. Not a goddamn thing. And then, furthermore, that has and I love this dude too, and it broke my heart to see him in this fucking A Flight of the Conchords, Jermaine Clement. Love him so much, but I'll be real, he's the one person fucking trying in this. He's the one person who's actually kind of playing the script like it should be, because he's like, oh wow, like, oh, that's the other thing too. The Harold and the Purple Crayon books exist in the library that he works at. It makes no sense. It makes no sense at all, and it's barely acknowledged. It's like, so like he's literally flipping through a Harold and the Purple Crayon book while Harold's in front of him. I'm like, what?
Well, that might have been hustled by the author. Like the author might have said, look, I'm going to need the book to be shown in this film. I mean, so people know they can go buy it.
but Harold is not like it doesn't make sense. Like it makes so little sense. And Alfred Molina is and Alfred Molina is in here as the narrator. He's not in the movie a ton. Again, cashing that check off, like, I'll take that check, thank you. like it feels like that. But here's what's so confusing is that Alfred Molina as the narrator, he dies. He actually dies. And so I'm like, so death exists in your world then, right? But Harold has gone to the real world. So you don't age or you do age? Like, how does this work? It's never established. The movie's like, shut up, don't think about it. I'm like, all right, fuck me, I guess, for having a brain and trying to think this through. And then, furthermore, Zachary Levi's Harold end up going to a fucking museum where they have the Harold and the Purple Crayon books, and they have like all this information about the author. So I'm like, okay, so then can the real world come in the Harold's world? Or like, how the fuck does this work? It is never explained, it is never addressed, and I'm just like, all right, you were just pulling shit out of your ass, and you just could not be bothered to care. And that's before I get to Benjamin Batani, who plays the kid in this movie. He plays Mel, who is the kid to Zooey Deschanel's Terry. And look, I like Zoe Deschanel. I've seen her in stuff. I've seen her in stuff. Whether it's Elf or 500 Days of Summer, even Yes Man, as grating as that shit does get by the end. I think she's actually fun in that. But my big thing of Zoe Deschanel has been at points it just feels like she could not fucking care less. And those last couple seasons of New Girl, it really feels like she could not give a fuck about that show. Here, she could not give a fuck, man. She just seems tired. She just is I have to be the mom in mom roles now. And it's and that's sad because I know not everyone can be Julianne Moore, not everyone can be Nicole Kidman. I get that. But but this kid, I just said his fucking name. Benjamin Batani, he's been in nothing. This is literally his first big acting role. You two are supposed to be the big stars in this, and you're giving this kid nothing. This kid deserves a chance. Why are you not trying to at least give showcase for him so that a Hollywood person can see him and be like, oh yeah, this movie's shit, but he's good in it. So they're not even doing their jobs at a base level of trying to make their fellow actors look good. So it's double fuck you for that. And that's before I get to and Lil Rel's in this. I'm such a fan of Lil Rel Howery so much too. And so he voices the moose in this movie because there's the moose in Harold's World. Why is there a moose? Shut up, Bradley. And so here's the other thing. He's a moose, right? He's a moose. The world sees him as a black dude. Why you choose to be black in New York, especially in Central Park? Fuck you, Trump. Oops. I'll never know. But here's the other thing. Sometimes they see him as a black dude. Sometimes they see him as a moose. There's no explanation as to why it goes back and forth. And it's oh God, okay, I'm giving myself a headache. I'm moving on. Yeah, fuck the movie. Do not watch it. That is my number 4. All right. God damn it. All right. We are down to the top 3. And I'll be real, y'all. My 1 through 4 could change. I could intertwine. I could swap them all out in different positions because so thankfully I didn't have to rent Harold and the Purple Crayon. Thankfully it hit Paramount Plus or something. So I was really happy I didn't have to pay to rent this. But it is just anyways. So yeah, my top 5 could really kind of interchange. Top 4 could interchange. But my number 3 is God's Not Dead and God We Trust. I reviewed God's Not Dead, We the People. I think it was 2022 when it came out. This is a movie that straight up says, oh my, has what's this fucker's name? Pastor David Hill, who's played by David A.R. White, which what a white fucking name that is. He is running a church, and he is told basically by this random woman to go ahead and run for senator. She runs political campaigns, and they're like, we think that you can beat Senator Peter Kane. It's so stupid. So here's the actual synopsis. In a time of profound political, civil, and spiritual turmoil, really, Reverend David Hill grapples with a crucial question: does God still have a place in politics? Here's the answer: no. Fuck no, he doesn't, because y'all don't even think God deserves to have a spot in politics. Because if you actually believed in God and believed in what God's teachings were at a fucking base level, you wouldn't be going after that fucking bishop. You'd be going after the man who can't handle hearing basic fucking truth spoke to him. So let me get that out of the way now. Y'all don't believe in God at all. And then, furthermore, this movie has no balls whatsoever. It never at any point says liberal. At no point ever says Republican. It doesn't even say red or blue. It'll show red and blue, like little colors. It'll never say red or blue state. It doesn't do any of that. It dances around anything remotely political. So fuck you for that, because you don't even have the balls to actually stand by your own fucking convictions of what you're trying to push with your propaganda. So that's number one. Number two, this woman who goes ahead and tells Pastor Reverend Hill to go ahead and run. The guy who is running Peter Kane's campaign, he apparently sexually assaulted her. In the movie, is like, well, maybe he didn't sexually assault her. And I'm like,
whoa.
You're very heavily, and I'm like, you're very heavily implying that he sexually assaulted her. But then the movie has the balls to get mad at her for holding a grudge and go, this is what happens when you don't forgive. Forgiving is about for you. It's not about for the other person. I was like, suck a dick. Are you kidding me? That's the message you're giving this woman, that she needs to just take her sexual assault and just push it down, turn the other cheek. Like, really? And that's not me saying that. That's the movie saying that shit. And I was like, you are fucking unbelievable for saying that shit. And no wonder you voted the way you voted. I could not fucking believe it. And that's Scott Baio, by the way, which I was just like, of fucking course Scott Baio's in this movie. Like, why wouldn't Scott Baio be in this movie? Oh, did I mention that it has a special appearance and it's touted as a big cameo from fucking Mike Huckabee. Mike Huckabee's in this movie, pushing his Mike Huckabee podcast, which I was just like, Jesus Christ, like, this movie is shameless. Like it's so goddamn shameless. I did an hour-ish review on this movie, so if you want to hear more about why it sucks, go listen to the review. But this shit is unfucking believable. Yeah, I and here's the other thing too. There's a point where Reverend Hill says this, and this is a quote: "There is no place for bullying in politics." Fuck off. Really? There's no place for bullying in politics? You mean bullying as in saying, California, you didn't vote for me, so I'm not going to give you federal aid for the fires? Like that sort of bullying? Is that the bullying you're talking about? Bullying like, oh, I SA'd you and you're going to go ahead and speak up? Like that sort of bullying? Is that what you mean? Yeah, what sort of bullying do you mean? Humor me, because I'd love to know. If that's not bullying, I don't know what the fuck it is. Fuck this movie, and fuck anyone who likes this movie. God damn it! Sorry.
Where do you think they go from here now that they've politically won? Like the oppressive angle is gone.
I have no idea.
And they need that oppressive angle. They need it.
They do. And here's the thing that's ridiculous. At the beginning of the movie, they're showing all of these like political things. So of course they show Reagan, which, you know, again, fuck you, Reagan. They had the balls to show Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech. Mm-hmm. Yeah, suck a dick movie. I cannot.
I've been doing that for a long time.
Oh, I know, but it is just like fuck all the way off from that bullshit. So yeah, God's not dead. In God we trust. Yeah, in God we trust. In Trump we trust. You guys don't believe in fucking God at all. That's my number 3. Okay, I need to take a sip because I'm.
Yeah, I think we all in the chat wanted Hunter not to watch it, but after that passionate speech, you know, it's like we do the fall on the grenade analogy. Well, someone's got to speak out against garbage.
Yeah,
you know, and we can't. I can't. I didn't watch it. I can certainly say Christian dogmas. You confuse me when you say, "Why did I vote Trump? Because I love my family." So the guy who hates his family and he openly admits they suck. I hate them. I wish I had a younger model. You know, he openly says this shit. You're like, well, that's an interesting representative you got there for loving your family. And that's just one of the many horrible things, you know.
And by the way, to have singing group the Newsboys on here talking about like we need to bring people together. It's like, oh my God,
I love the Bible. $85, please, and then you can have one with my face on it. $85. Skip over all the chapters that say this is heresy. What I'm doing. Yeah,
just people. Let's just look at the 10 Commandments. Literally look at the 10 Commandments. I'm begging you, just read that part of the Bible. And then you can go back and go to Matthew, where when God is asked if you could boil the Bible down to one thing, what would be the one thing you say? It's exactly what the bishop said. Show mercy, love your neighbor. That is literally what Jesus says is the most important commandment. And this fucker can't do it. Again, fuck you. Number 3 is...
Okay, moving on. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, that's my number 3. God, I fucking hate people, man. You fucking dipshits. Learn to read a god. Okay, you know. Okay, we're gonna.
It's a grip.
All
It's a grip.
right. Yes,
It's all a big grip.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. My number 2. Oh God, fuck! This is my number 2. God, I'm about to get mad all over it. So my number 2 is unfortunately a film that just got nominated for a bunch of Oscars. It is Emilia Perez. Fuck y'all. Fuck you, Netflix.
I have seen this one. All right. Yeah, one for 8. I've seen it.
Fuck everything about this. Are you kidding me? This is what we're doing now? 14 nominations for this. So we have a friend, Jordan. Love Jordan to death. And look, I disagree with what Jordan said to an extent. Because yes, and thank you, Josh.
Has Jordan watched it and talked about it with you?
I don't know if they've watched it. But here's the thing, and I, I will stand on business on this. I did not copy your list because you did not watch God's Not Dead, We the People. So yeah, fuck off. You did not watch that shit. Jordan is wrong in the sense of talking about how only like trans people can tell trans stories. That's not true. In the same way that only trans people aren't capable of telling trans stories, I would never say that you have to be black to tell a black story. Because if you look at Catherine Bigelow with Detroit, that's one of the most prolific black films that's come out in the last 20 years. A film that everyone should watch, by the way, given what's going on. Detroit's an incredible film, and everyone needs to watch that shit. The thing that is so frustrating about this is that they took a trans actress in Carla Sofia Gasson and went ahead and weaponized her. That's exactly what they did. Because at the end of the day, this is not a good film. And the trans element alone would get this on my worst stuff. The thing that's driving me nuts about it is that people are saying it's a good musical. It's not a good musical. Canada was 1,000% right. Because like I was talking to him about it, he's like, Hunter, I thought people weren't taking this seriously. I thought people thought this was a telenovela. And if you watch it from that perspective, you're 1,000% on the money because it plays like a telenovela, even down to the score, like where it's like playing like the overly like the Spanish guitar and all, like it straight up feels like a telenovela, but it's playing it
twists like a telenovela also.
Yeah, but it's playing it straight, and I was like, why are you playing this straight? There's a point. Wow. Josh from After Doom Students says, shout to Emilia Perez from penis to vagina, vagina to penis. Like that's basically what they do. Penis so there's a point
vagina, vagina penis.
Like when they had that whole consultation, oh my god, that scene. Yeah, when the guy starts saying that, I was like,
that's like
what
the most schlockiest thing I've seen this whole
year.
Oh
my god.
And to see artists being all like the power and the art, I'm like, whoa, we were watching this through two different lenses because I laughed through my popcorn at the TV. This was so bad and funny and ridiculous and absurd. I mean,
so I was watching.
Go
ahead. No, you're good. Good.
I was just gonna say, I saw the TV Glow is right there. If you guys want to, look at LGBTQ plus IA activism. I mean, it's right there. I know it's not as accessible because I think it was only streaming on Shudder, but I mean, that's the one you pick. You shouldn't pick one that makes people think, oh, by the end of the film, so many people I think are going to come away with, I see transgender people hate themselves. And is that what you want to prop up? That's not something to prop up. And Mexicans hate themselves. Don't forget that.
Yeah. And did I mention that this film isn't even filmed in fucking Mexico? Like, that needs to be hammered.
There's an orange piss filter for Mexico.
like fuck all the way off. And look, Zoe Saldana, I've made jokes about her, basically, the fact that she'll literally go out of the galaxy to not fuck a black dude. Like I've talked about it, like that's a beat I've been I've been beating that drum for years. And I'm right, because I literally have proof that she will not.
But she's not in. I mean, she's not known for sex scenes at all, right? That's not really her
true,
thing.
But this is also a woman though who has actively kind of gone against her blackness and then had to backpedal on it. And it really feels like she's ashamed of her culture. But then she'll go ahead and she'll do, like, look, I've routinely talked about the fact that if you're a minority, you have a responsibility to look out for others, not just your own fellow minorities. You need to look out for other people. And Zoe Saldana, as a minority, the fact that she saw this movie where she's so actively working with a trans woman and how problematic it is, and she clearly saw the Oscar bait potential and said, "Fuck it, I'll sign the dotted line." Fuck her for that. Fuck her for that.
Well,
and
I think it's wild that anyone could read this and see Oscar potential because it's so silly.
Oh, I knew exactly what they were doing once I started.
I had no idea. I was completely in the dark. I'm a musical nerd, so I watched this the second it dropped on Netflix, which I think was September. Correct me in the comments. And after, I was like, oh my gosh, you guys, this is the silliest, goofiest movie I've seen in a long time. And then all of a sudden, the Golden Globes comes out and it starts winning things. And like I've said to you before, my trifling ass was like, huh? It's winning art awards? How?
Yeah, it just, so here's the thing, y'all. I've talked about it. I were you on the review for it? I think you were.
I wasn't.
Oh, you weren't? Okay. We talked about it in the chat. So there is this point where after they transition, Amelia sings a song. Am I a man? Am I a woman? Half man, half woman. And I'm sitting there going, really? Like you're having them have like a fucking identity crisis after they spent this whole monologue talking to Zoe Saldana's character about how like, I need to be a woman. I need to be, who I was born to be. Oh, but that's after they go ahead and they open their shirt before they transition because they've begun hormones. And Zoe Saldana's reaction is literally like she saw like a club baby seal. She's like, oh, like he's fucking horrified. And I'm like, fuck you, bitch. Really? That's where. And the moment I saw that, I went, fuck this movie. And there's no point where she apologizes for it. She's never checked on it. Fuck this movie.
It seems like it was written. Like it really seems like it was written by someone like me 20 years ago. Like, oh, I'm an open-minded person, and I don't think you should hate anybody. That was me 20 years ago. If I wrote this without having any understanding of what identity even means, because I was a white straight male with Christian values growing up. I don't know fuck all about identity or other people's shoes, and yeah, it seems so out of touch. Like, what am I now that the surgery's over? Penis, vagina, penis. Yeah. Like, I think your identity is more than that, and you're being very disingenuous about using such silly terms. I thought this was a comedy. When it was nominated for a comedy at Golden Globes, I thought, well, okay, there's that. And then when it won, I was stunned, like, but it's so stupid. The worst one for me is the constant, not just the dead naming, but she kills herself, her male persona, because that's what it would have been, and doesn't tell anyone. Like, no, a transition story isn't murdering your past. I mean, I get it from the crime point of view. Like, now they can't track me because the FBI will just find a corpse. I get that. But then when the film is like, no, that person is dead. Amelia now lives. Like, who's doing your research on transition properties? Like, no, transitioning people that I've actually talked to don't kill off their past. They ask people in their families to accept them for who they are. They don't murder their families away. Like, who's doing your research? That's all I want to know. Who's Who's writing this? Amelia Perez.
And the thing that is so gross, and I mean fucking gross about this movie, is that once they go ahead and they transition from Manitas to Amelia, she goes ahead and hits up her wife, Jessie, played by Selena Gomez. And look, I've talked about, yes, Selena Gomez is super fine. Only Murders in the Building. She seems delightful. I watched her Apple TV documentary about mental health. I'm a huge fan of Selena. I don't know what the fuck she was thinking saying yes to this shit. Like there's a point where they're having the girl talk thing, but she's using the fact she's transitioned as fucking camouflage, because she goes like, oh, with your ex-husband, like, how is the sex? Like, he's been dead for 4 years, but they just found out that Amelia, under the guise of a long lost cousin, that's her fucking cover story, is talking to her about like, oh, so how was he in bed? Like did he make your eyes roll in the back of your head? Like, were you happy with him? So she's using her fact that she's transitioned to get all this intel on her past identity. Like, fuck off. And this is after the news, the fucking news went ahead and, oh my God, dude, I don't even want to talk to you right now. Afternoon Tune said he gave Amelia Perez a stream it. Fuck that. So she's using it as a smokescreen to get more information about his past.
That's just fear mongering for bigots.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is. It is gross as fuck, and that's before we get to the scene with with her kid, where the kid's like, "You smell like my dad." It's been 4 years.
Like, I was thinking, is there a reason why Amelia is still smells like that? Is she putting on
there's
salt?
none. There's none.
Like,
there's no goddamn way.
She looks like would be wearing a perfume or carrying herself differently now that she went from the killing fields, we'll just call it, to the office. Like, why would she still smell like that? And then, I'm reminded of an earlier song where the doctor, the self-righteous doctor, by the way, who works for a cartel drug and trafficking lord, is all like, this is sin against God. Okay, dude. Okay. Yeah. How's your pedestal up there on the bones of children and women?
Right, dude, right. Where do you get?
But he says you cannot change your soul. So the fact that a child is being used to push that message, like, well, you can get a vagina, but you can't change your soul. Movie. Who is this for? This is hate. This is like when the directors of Blonde said, I love Marilyn Monroe. Have you seen your movie? Are you sure you love Marilyn Monroe, director of Blonde?
That's exactly what it is, man.
Because I think you hate her a lot. I'm gonna
Th-
grab
this-
her by
this
the hair
is-
and drag her through the mud. I love Marilyn Monroe. Fuck off. And that's what this is doing to a transitioning story. It's absurd. And I am shocked that it's getting attention because of how this is like The Room. This is Tommy Wiseau's The Room. And I wish people would have
it is
been able to watch it that way, but they can't now, not with all the award and like I hated Crash, but
yeah.
I think this might be worse than Crash in terms of tone deaf.
Worse. It's
tone
easily
deaf
worse than Crash
from Hollywood Elites.
Because there are some performances in Crash I think are very well done. I don't think there's a performance.
Yeah, I agree with
that.
I think Michael Pena as the father in Crash was very good.
He's great in that.
I think Lawrence Tate being murdered, very hauntingly convincing performance.
Fucking Ludacris is good in it. There's some good performances in it. There's so when we find out who Selena Gomez's Jesse's been cheating on, oh my God, you want to talk about no chemistry or like anti-chemistry?
Yeah.
Why? I was like, this is the guy your pussy aches for? Really? This dude? Like,
yeah, like Oscar Isaacs isn't showing up. This plot's gonna fail. And the person who shows up looks like they called him over from like outside the lot, like, we need a role. Can you come stand in front of the camera? And dude's probably like, okay.
He felt like a caricature, honestly. Like that's how it felt. And that Papa song. holy fuck. Like, you want to talk about a moment that like genuinely broke my, like, I actually had to pause the movie and go for a walk after that song. Like, that song broke my brain in a way that I was like, what just happened? Like, you smell like cigars, you smell like sweat, you smell like hope, Papa. And I'm like, what is happening?
Little
Like,
child, I won't know for years that I've destroyed my career.
it's like, what are we doing? Like, it's so bad. Like, and by the way, El Mal, where Zoe Saldana is supposed to be rapping, and like, oh my god, that like
it's like a narrative soliloquy. I don't know why anyone called it rap. I'm glad we had that conversation just the other day. Actually, like, is this rap? It looks like she's just doing a narrative speak in a musical. You know.
Zoe Saldana's El Mal is to rap what Madonna's American Life is to rap. It is a fucking horrendous rap performance. Like, goddamn, Zoe. Like, I don't like. I'm such a fan of hers, but this is that role that makes me think like, wow, I thought you were being offensive doing those indigenous Avatar movies that refuse to acknowledge that they're based on indigenous people. But goddamn, this shit. That is number 2 is Emilia Perez. Yeah. So just to summarize real quick before I get to my number 1.
Yeah.
God, like I feel like I literally just gave myself a headache over the last 2 entries. Like, I just Hollywood, stop being shitty. All right, so like I said, my number 10 tied for 10, Joker Folie à Deux and Red One. Number 9, Mea Culpa. Number 8, The Deliverance. Number 7, Rebel Moon, The Scar-Giver. Number 6, Tyler Perry's Divorce in the Black. Number 5, Megamind vs. Doom Syndicate. Number 4, Harold and the Purple Crayon. Number 3, In God We Trust. Number 2, Emilia Perez. And my number 1 least favorite film of the year is another Netflix original. Netflix, God almighty, start having some discernment. My number 1 least favorite film is Unfrosted. It has been locked in at number 1 pretty much since April. I think I spent a week and a half just bitching about this movie. Like, it made me angry in a way that I could not comprehend. Like, I couldn't comprehend that someone who people tell me is one of the greatest stand-ups of all time, one of the greatest comedians of all time, stars in one of the greatest sitcoms of all time, makes this shit. And I remember when B Movie came out and everyone was telling me like, all right, Hunter, you're about to eat crow. Like, he's making his movie. And I'm like, oh, it's about a bee that wants to fuck a human. Cool. Awesome. Like, what a great movie for, wait, check my notes. Kids. Oh, this is a kid's movie, not a fucking horror film, not a Cronenberg film. No, this is Jerry Seinfeld, who I guess wants to fuck Renee Zellweger. Is that the message behind B Movie? Is that it? Because that's all I fucking remember is that at least fucking Howard the Duck is like weird and leans into its premise. But no, B Movie's like, no, it's about the honey. Yeah, it's not about fucking. No. It's about
two things. Oh no, it doesn't mean 2 things. Ignore that it means 2 things.
Yeah, fuck. So this movie, this is one of the worst comedies I've seen in my fucking life. Like, when I think about one of the worst comedies I've ever seen, oh god, off the top, like Bucky Larson, Born to Be a Star comes to mind. Jack and Jill comes to mind. Freddy Got Fingered. Yeah, shit like that comes to mind. This is right up there. And the reason why this is up there is because of the resources. This movie has Jerry Seinfeld, Melissa McCarthy, Jim Gaffigan, Hugh Grant, Amy Schumer, gag, Max Greenfield, Christian Slater, Mikey Day, Cedric the Entertainer, Earthquake is in this, Kyle Mooney, oh my god, like Bill Burr. All these comedians show up, and I'm sure the reason they showed up is because it's Seinfeld. Like, oh my god, Seinfeld wants me to be in their movie. Cool, I'm there. And what he did, he wrote this, he produced it, and did I forget to mention that he fucking directed it? It is all on Seinfeld. It is all on him. And this is one of the most trite, most self-indulgent things I've seen in my goddamn life. There is not a joke for me that worked. I think Hugh Grant has a couple moments where he's just kind of leaning to this Paddington 2 levels of insanity. Like he kind of like, he dresses up like Tony the Tiger. He's like the cereal mascot, and there's like a gag or two there that works. But this shit is just goddamn ridiculous. There's literally a moment where Melissa McCarthy, who's working for a drink distributor, trying to find like the next big soft drink. Oh, can I take a sip of that? Oh, you have an astronaut backdrop. This tastes interesting. It has some tang to it. Get it? Because it's supposed to be for tang. Aren't we funny? Aren't we clever? No, you're fucking not. You're a fucking hack. I've been saying you're a hack for decades, and now finally, it seems like people are finally catching up to how shit you are. Did I even mention that Seinfeld did a stand-up special for Netflix 2 years ago? Huh, Hunter, I didn't know that. Yeah, because it's not fucking good, and Netflix didn't even promote it. This shit is so goddamn bad. There's a
I heard he like whined and cried the whole time on it.
And here's the thing, dude. I'm happy you brought that up because you know what he said. Actually, let me pull the fucking quote because I want to make sure I quote his ass correctly.
Get those
Let me. Oh yeah, no, motherfucker. I've got. Let me see. Okay, here it is. Here we go. All right, so Seinfeld, come on, motherfucker. So he said, so he made some, okay, so he said that, here's a quote. Seinfeld said, no, I'm not doing that. Seinfeld said that woke culture is pushing audiences away from television and towards stand-up comedy because stand-up is not policed by anyone. So first off, I've talked about this on the podcast. I think people are too sensitive. I think people like to bitch for the sake of bitching. But also, you have people like Bill Burr, like Anthony Jeselnik, like Daniel Tosh, like Nikki Glazer, like Taylor Tomlinson, who are able to make fucked up jokes. But here's the thing. You have to be able to make the joke actually fucking worth the punchline. Why is that such a hard concept for some of you fuckers to grasp? Seinfeld's never been a good stand-up. Like I would watch those like stand-up bits before you get to the episode of Seinfeld, and I just be like, really? This is what's funny? Like, come on, white people. Like I would expect more from y'all. Rodney Dangerfield's fucking great. Lean on Dangerfield. Why are you leaning on fucking Seinfeld? This shit is maddening. And here's the thing, dude. That would be like me saying, oh man, superhero films are absolute bullshit. I can make my own superhero film that's 10 times better. And then I make Jonah Hex. And you would rightfully so be, you're full of shit. Go fuck yourself. He makes that quote, and this is what you put out, motherfucker.
Jonah Hex should have been a home run, though, especially with that cast. It makes no sense how bad Jonah Hex was.
It absolutely should have been. But I'm sorry, motherfucker.
I hear you. Yeah.
You're sitting here talking shit about the woke mob and about how you can't make good comedy anymore. That's exactly what Todd Phillips fucking said. And he made 2 shit Hangover movies after he said that shit. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, motherfucker. Maybe you're just not as good as you fucking think you are. And I've been saying that shit.
What has Jerry said that's even offensive is the weird thing. Like, what joke does he feel like the woke mob was after him for? I thought people were mad at him because he dated teenagers.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. But if you want to be offended by comedy, watch this shit. Because there is not a joke in here that fucking works. And Seinfeld in particular. Yeah. Oh, dude. Yeah, I would never tell you to watch
I mean, my dad, who could give a crap about Hollywood writers and TV, even when I was a kid, when I'd say like Kramer's funny, but I don't think Jerry's funny. Even my dad was like, well, Larry David's the funny one. Larry David's the mastermind behind the show.
And Curb Your Enthusiasm shows that shit like a motherfucker because he's clearly the brains behind the operation. Mm-hmm. Because holy fuck, Curb is amazing. But you watch Seinfeld, it's like everyone is funny independent of Seinfeld.
Yeah. I agree with that.
I hate this movie. I really hate this movie. I hate everything it represents. I hate the fact that
do you like Frosted Flakes? Like, does it tell anything true about like commercial cereal or how the sugar at least is processed differently to make it more addicted to kids? Like, is there anything in here about the actual production of cereal?
So they kind of get into it a little bit. Like, there's some rivalry between like Kellogg's and Post.
Mhm. Yeah.
That's kind of there, but okay. So here's okay. This is
All right.
how Rice Krispie treats are discovered. They literally throw a bunch of Rice Krispies in a dumpster, right?
Mhm.
Literally in a fucking dumpster. And this girl who's fucking starving, like clearly is like her parents aren't doing well, or she might be homeless. I can't really remember. It doesn't fucking matter. She's literally in the dumpster. She takes a scoop, like with her hand, like a shovel, and eats some of the Rice Krispies that are mixed with the marshmallow fluff. And she's like, hmm, that's good. It's a real pause, wait for it treat.
Yeah.
Do you get it? Do you get it? It's a Rice Krispie treats joke. Aren't we clever? And the movie does that shit like 5 or 6 times. And I was like, fuck off every time you make this goddamn joke. And I'm supposed to sit here and be laughing.
Mhm.
Like okay. I'm Blue Sky right now. I'm doing like my top like 20 films that have like influenced me and that films that I love. I just posted yesterday for day, I think I'm on day 9. I think today's day 9, or yesterday I think it was day 9. I posted Hot Rod. Hot Rod is a absurdist comedy about being a stunt man. But that is a movie that has punchlines, that has jokes, that actually knows how to write a fucking joke, and doesn't overstay its welcome. Everyone in that film has something to do. It's oh god, I'm blanking I'm blanking on the dad in that. Ian McShane, there we go. Ian McShane is actually fucking hilarious in that, and is actually a very good villain. It is a real asshole to Rod, which is actually a great joke in itself about about being a parent. The Lonely Island could have pulled something like this off. They could probably take this concept and make it work, because The Lonely Island is very good at taking absurdist concepts and turning it into something that's actually manageable. See Self-Reliance, see Palm Springs as a couple examples. See Pop Star. There's nothing about this, man. And for the talent involved, there's no excuse for it to be this bad. Absolutely fucking none. Like I could not believe, like when I got to the end of this, I was actually flabbergasted. Like I actually remember going for a walk and just being like, man, if I was in film school right now, like keep writing, kids, because if this shit can go ahead and get through the Matrix, like I know it's Seinfeld, like I get that, but seriously, y'all, please keep writing, because you will write something better than this. I guarantee you, Bradley could have a Taco Bell Fiesta, and what he would leave in the toilet would be better than the script that we got here. I fucking hate this movie. So yeah, fuck you, Unfrosted. Fuck you, Seinfeld. And that's the thing. I can't even be mad at like the actors and actresses who sign up for this shit, because again, it's Seinfeld. I'm sure you hear, like I know so many people who look up to Seinfeld. I'm sure they're just like, oh my god, Seinfeld wants me to be something. Like I'm there. I'm trying exactly how the conversation went for like most of these people. But seriously, look up the other comedians. There are funnier comedians. Do not look up to this dude. He does not deserve your love or your praise or your adoration. So one more time, fuck you, Seinfeld. Fuck you, Netflix. Unfrosted is my number one least favorite film of 2024. Oh my god, I feel better. I've been yelling for the last like 25 minutes. So oh, okay. That actually felt a little healing. I'm not gonna lie. That's why I wanted to do the worst stuff, because we'll talk about good stuff next week. But I needed to get that out. Okay, we're good. Any thoughts before we get out of here?
No, I'm kind of happy that I've actually seen one of the films that are of the worst. I feel included.
Yeah.
And
you should, man. Yeah.
Everything that you've talked about and explained sounds a lot worse than my worst film, which was Night Swim. So that's kind of cool. Because again,
Nick, I'm sorry, man. I couldn't watch Night Swim.
And I know Nick probably didn't seek out a bad movie either when he watched Night Swim. Wyatt Russell and a horror movie about drowning, that it should work. So yeah. Netflix, do better, because I noticed that a lot of Netflix films were on your list. And Peacock, do better. Oh, Peacock is doing better. I heard The Wild Robot is now streaming on Peacock, so that's a huge step up from Megamind 2. Very colorful. Support more actual worst of lists. Don't go to the Razzies and see like the biggest blockbuster that got the lowest audience rating. Like that's not what the worst
like,
is. Worst movies
at
are
all.
being made. Seek out those movies where the boom mic actually drops in and you hear the sound guy or the director in audio go, "It's fine,
Man.
it's fine." You know, those are the worst films that are being
Seriously,
made right now.
man.
The
I-
platforms
I-
of bigotry are the worst. And yeah, I appreciate you for actually watching bad movies so you can have an authentic worst of list, and for watching more than 15 2024 movies as well. I know a lot of
man, I
best
got
of
to-
and worst of lists
God,
have very
I
low
fogged up my
viewership.
glasses. I had to, I had to take my glasses off. I was actually like, wow, my glasses are fogged up. Holy shit. Yeah, y'all.
Yeah.
So just look, these are my worst of. I've seen some people's worst of lists that have actually been very like shockingly comparable. Which has been
Good.
kind of nice. So let me just say too, real quick before we get out of here, Despicable Me 4 was on the list for most of the year, but like don't watch that either. That's like not worth your time. But yeah, the like Megamind just melted my brain in a way I couldn't.
My poor kids are like, we know what a bad movie is. And I'm like, what? No, you don't. All movies are fun. You're kids. And then they say to me, this was Despicable Me 4, by the way. We know you
Okay.
don't like it because sometimes, Dad, like when you turned on Flow, you watched the whole thing with us. And I'm like, of course, it was family movie night. And he's like, when you turned on Despicable Me 4, you said you had to do chores 30 minutes in and left. And I was like, y'all notice that? but I was doing laundry. You saw me. I was doing the laundry. And they're like, we think you had it planned.
That's incredible. So I will say to you,
coming
man,
from
like
5, 6, 7-year-olds, dude. So
kids are smart, man. Kids
They
are
are.
smart. They notice shit, man. Like, but that's incredible that even your kids are like, wait a minute, like,
Yeah.
like he'll watch. Yeah, it's oh man.
And of course, they loved Flow,
yeah.
and I loved Flow. It's about a cat that's trying to survive. That's all you really need to know about it going in, and it's beautiful and it's contemplative. I don't mean to hate on Despicable Me. It's just I did have see, I'm making the same excuses that I did to them, but I did have laundry. I just had to do the laundry, kids. I swear I don't hate things, but yeah. What I saw, it was terrible. Despicable Me 4.
Yeah, like it's not good, but at this point, man, there was just like, so I'll be real. It was on the list until I saw Amelia Perez. Amelia Perez legit pushed it out. I was like,
Drew, please
yeah,
give me the
glad
Oscar
Despicable
so I
Me-
don't have to do this anymore. Is what I hear every time there's a Despicable Me. Just give me an Oscar. I don't want to do this anymore.
Steve Carell just like after Foxcatcher didn't get him an Oscar, he was just like, and Welcome to Morrowind didn't. He was like, cool, let's just sell it to
Hey,
these
our
minions.
mutual friend
Let's just
says
keep
Welcome to
these.
Morrowind slaps. So that's fun.
Yeah,
That's
and our
been
mutual
fun.
friend is a fucking moron for thinking that because that's a dog shit movie.
I agree. It was terrible.
That is, yeah, that movie like. Oh, I got beat up by literal.
Film, right? I usually like Zemeckis films.
Oh God, it is Zemeckis. Yeah, yeah, it is.
So that was a heartbreaker
God,
for me that it was so bad. To me, I don't know who I'd recommend it to. So
I got beat up by Nazis. Let me play with dolls. Like fuck off. I mean, you know what?
There's something there though, and he just missed it for some reason.
There.
He just missed it so bad. The documentary about the man is incredible. And yeah, maybe because I saw the documentary first, I was more angry at how bad the movie was. So, wow, you really just are throwing out the most fascinating things about this guy's life. Okay, good for you, Zemeckis, because Steve Carell looks like a stupid doll. Good for you.
Because the documentary about him, I actually watched it, and that made me hate the movie more. I was like, wait a minute, why not just like what? Like it's. Yeah. But I So y'all, what were your worst films of 2024? I'd be curious to hear what people's worst ofs are. But y'all, I will have Canada back next week. If you're down to come on for best of, because it'd be nice to actually talk about the good movies. I literally gave myself a headache yelling for 25 minutes because but there's some great stuff out there. There is, and we will celebrate it next week. We will talk about best of next week. Canada, before we get out of here, man, if you could please tell the people where they can find you.
Yes, I'm at oneofus.net. Next review coming up from me, I believe, is Back in Action. Jamie Foxx, Cameron Diaz returning to acting. That's on Netflix. And you can follow me on Letterboxd, Bradley of Martin. Is it at Bradley of Martin? And my reviews are very, very fast, very short. And
they're fun. I
people seem to appreciate that sometimes, but I don't know.
No, I appreciate it, man. Are you did you watch Back in Action yet? Or
I did, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. I try to keep everything. I don't post anything until it's actually posted on the site. So
fair enough.
Including my opinion.
I'll probably end up watching. Oh, that laugh. That feels ominous. That feels like
ominous.
That feels like that feels like when
it's better than the Union. Like, I know that's a low hanging fruit. It's better. Than
I was about to say, look, like, wow, what faint praise. But oh god, I need that laugh. Thank you. As far as me, people, I will be back next Saturday. Reviewing kicking off the Black Cinema Showcase proper, which I'm excited for. As I've got you here, so I'll just run down the list real quick. I already revealed it earlier, but we'll have a review for Nickel Boys, Sing Sing, Piece by Piece, all 4 Beverly Hills Cop films, Exhibiting Forgiveness, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Captain America: Brave New World, A Quiet Place Day 1, and what we're kicking off this the month with Malcolm X. I've got that on Criterion. I'm gonna bust that out here this next week. I'm excited to rewatch Malcolm X. Love that fucking movie. So be talking about that with my mom. My mom will actually be on the stream to go ahead and review that with me. So that's gonna be a lot of fun. But all right, yeah, I'm gonna go have some coffee and take care of this headache that I just gave myself. As far as what's coming up, like I said, all those reviews for Black History Month will be up. Honorable mentions and dishonorable mentions are up on the YouTube right now, which you can find at The Real Pineapple, REEL Pineapple. The audio will be up wherever you listen to podcasts this Monday, the 27th. Listen to podcast SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Amazon Music, to name a few, or wherever you listen to podcasts. You can check me out on IG and on TikTok at JHunter Real Pineapple. That's JHunter and then REEL Pineapple. Find me on Blue Sky at realpineapple.bsky.social. And check out my Facebook pages for The Real Pineapple at The Real Pineapple and Real Pineapple Games. There we go. Oh, and Twitch at twitch.tv/The Real Pineapple. Whew. All right. That is everything, y'all. Thank you so much. I'm off until next Saturday. So there won't be any reviews or anything until next Saturday outside of the honorable mentions, honorable and dishonorable mentions dropping. But we will kick off the month fresh with Malcolm X on Saturday. Canada, love you, man. Thank you so much for being on and taking a couple hours with me. I appreciate it. Thank you, y'all, for listening to me melt down over the last 4 movies. But thank you again, y'all. Stay safe. Take care of each other. Check in on your people. I know the world is a lot right now, but we will get through this. And please know that if you ever need to vent or anything, the show hopefully is here for you in that capacity. But thank you so much again, y'all. Take care, and we'll talk to you on Saturday. Have a good one. Cheers.